Hey guys, so I'm here at the park and I wanted to film this video to give you all an update as to what was going on. And I've been dealing with a sinus infection for the past 2 weeks, so if I have to cough or sneeze or whatever, I'm sorry about that. But I want to keep this as real as possible. I'm not editing it or anything, so excuse any pauses that I need to take. But I find it interesting because lots of bugs around here. This solstice has been probably one of the most powerful solstice periods that I felt in a long time. And it was quite unexpected for me because I would say maybe about a week or so before the full moon, I was feeling like a lot of weird stuff in my throat. And I was like, okay, it might be allergies. Exactly. That's exactly what I thought it was at first. But I noticed that it felt a little bit different. Like I started to feel a lot of stuff in my throat, and then it started to progress to where my nose started to feel funny, and then I started coughing, which is still happening. Like I'm still coughing and I'm still dealing with this. But I noticed that things peaked at around the full moon, so I'm like, okay, something seems to be happening. Something is going on. And then when the solstice came on the 21st, I was like, okay, something's really going on, because I felt like the energy was just so overwhelming. It was intense and it was overwhelming. Something that I'm still feeling right now, which is why I'm outside and I'm attempting to ground the energy that I'm feeling. And for those of you that follow me on Instagram, I just posted a story about how the solstice seems to be triggering a lot in terms of anxiety and insomnia. I'm tired right now, but I'm having such a hard time sleeping and staying asleep. So that's been a bit of an issue for me, along with some anxiety and on the day of the solstice, I was feeling a lot of weird pressure around my head. And it was kind of like a headache, but not really. It was just a weird overall sensation in the head area. So I was feeling that, and then also feeling this feeling I don't know, it's kind of hard to describe, but it's almost like the energy is so intense that it's numbing. So it's to the point where it's like I feel sensitive, but at the same time, I can't feel anything. So it's an interesting combination. And forgive me for any pauses that I need to take because, like I said, because this is the energy is disorienting, so it's taking me a bit longer to gather my thoughts and to put them in such a structure that makes sense. Okay. So it's hard for me to say collectively what the solstice is bringing, but anytime I go through these periods, I've been through them before, where I feel the numbness and the overwhelming energy and the feeling of disorientation. Usually a big transformation is underway. There's something big that's happening. And sometimes when we're going through a lot of transformation under the surface, sometimes we go through these periods where there's a deadness emotionally, where we can't really feel much. And sometimes that's what needs to happen in order for things to progress as they need to. So, as you all know, a lot has been changing for me. A lot of these changes I've posted before, with me not doing readings, but I posted a live on Instagram recently and I forgot to post it to YouTube. So I'm sorry that I didn't do that. That was my mistake. But I'll talk about that a little bit here too. And another one of the changes that's been happening is that I'm no longer doing private consultations. So I'm not doing private readings or intuitive consultations at the moment. Right now, it feels like it's a permanent change, but I don't know. I have a lot of my reader friends that are asking me, well, are you going to get back into it? Is this something that you're just taking a break from? And the truth is that I don't really know. I don't really know. I could say, no, this isn't a break, it's a permanent thing, but I don't know. So right now, I'm just going with the flow and seeing what happens. But right now, I'm being guided to not do any private consultations. And one thing I want to mention here is that this is something that I talked about in my live, so I might as well talk about it here since I haven't been able to post it on YouTube, is when it comes to stuff like that, doing intuitive consultations, doing readings, whatever you want to call it, all because I'm not doing them, that doesn't mean that I'm disconnected from my spirituality. Like, I feel like there are some people that seem to be concerned that because I'm not doing these consultations or because I'm not doing readings anymore, that means that, okay, so you're taking a break from the spiritual thing? Like, is that what you're doing? And that is not the case at all. Doing readings, doing healing sessions is not a determinant of where you are spiritually. And I posted something about this on Instagram too, through just like a regular post. All of this stuff, whether you're doing readings or healings or whether you're posting about chakras and all of that, that has nothing to do with your progress as a spiritual being or your ascension progress. All of this stuff, the chakras and the spiritual stuff, all of that is for the ego mind. You're a spiritual being, and it doesn't need anything other than what it is to be what it is. It just is. So all of this stuff that people consider to be spiritual or metaphysical, it's just an idea. And for people that are on the path of spiritual growth and ascension, it's what we use as a means to connect. But if you are growing as a spiritual being, eventually that is going to fall away. Okay? It might not for everybody, but I find for a lot of people that are growing deeper into their spirituality and realizing more of who they are, at some point, at some point, they find that doing readings and all that stuff doesn't resonate anymore, and that's perfectly fine. You know, it doesn't mean that... Okay, hold on, I gotta take a break, 1 second. Okay, yeah, sorry. So what I was saying before is that all of this stuff, whether it be chakras or healing or readings, that is not what makes someone a spiritual person. And I feel like we really need to stop taking these ideas of what spirituality is and using them to determine whether someone is spiritual or not. Okay, lots of wind. We really need to stop taking these ideas and using them to determine someone's level of spirituality, because that has nothing to do with it. It has nothing to do with what you have, how you dress, what you look like, how many books you read. Okay? None of that determines anything. Okay? What really determines it is how real and how authentic someone can be to themselves. Okay? All of this stuff cannot be found outside of you. All of this already within you, which is why, you know, sometimes it can be difficult for me to have something to post every day. It's because what more can I tell you? What else can I give you that you don't already have? Because for me, all of this is just so simple. It's very easy, but sometimes you have to get through the complicated stuff before you could see, like, oh, you know, that's it. That's all I need, which is very little. Okay, so trying to think what else there was that I wanted to talk about, but I'm just gonna speak as I feel guided. I find that what has been happening, bringing it back full circle, is what has been changing a lot for me is how I connect spiritually. And it's not through a system. It's just being who I am, which I've been doing anyway, but it's really getting, like, even more simple. And I find that there seems to be changes happening, especially in terms of what I want to do long term, what my soul is feeling guided to do for a career long term, which I don't want to say specifically, what I've been guided to, because it hasn't fully culminated yet. I still I'm not sure. It's still kind of an idea. It's still kind of brewing and fermenting in here. So I don't want to speak about it too much because I don't know. Okay. But that seems to be shifting. I could feel that it's changing. I just don't know what the exact change is going to be. And it really shows me that you just have to do what you feel guided to do. Don't worry about how something looks. If it looks spiritual, or if it's true for you, it's spiritual. It doesn't matter if it's if it's something metaphysical or if it looks spiritual to somebody else or not. You just have to stay true to yourself. So I'm curious what you all are going through during this solstice period, because I just feel like sorry, that's a nasty cough. I just feel like the solstice period has been crazy, and that's why I'm out here. I'm attempting to ground the energy, because I just don't know. I feel like I have to just sit and just like kind of like do nothing, which is really important. It's really important, and I feel like it's such an underrated activity, is doing nothing, just being. And I feel like that's what I'm feeling called towards, is just spending time either just sitting here, which I'm going to do in a second, sit by my favorite tree at the park, or just going home and sitting in my space where I have my my altar, and just kind of sitting there, maybe listening to music, just doing chill things. Okay? What I wanted to say too is that I don't want to promise this. Okay, I don't want to promise this because I know how I am. But I really want to try to post these kinds of videos more often. I know I think it was like a month or so ago, I was saying, yeah, I want to post these videos with the spiritual information more often, but it didn't happen. Problem with this and the path that I'm on is that there's so much that changes that I find that it makes my energy very vulnerable, so I'm more prone to getting sick, or I'm more prone to migraines, which if you know me, you know that I'm a migraine sufferer, so I have to be careful how far I push myself, what I eat, or else I'll get a migraine. Okay, so I don't want to push myself when I don't feel well, and I'm sure you guys understand. But I'm still getting the guidance that I need to share more often what I'm experiencing and what's happening with me, because it'll be helpful to you all. It might confirm some things, or it'll help you to feel a little bit more comfortable with your own personal process. Okay, so I'm going to try to do that more often, just share with you guys, and just be very transparent and open about what's happening with me. I'd like to post every week. That would be great, but we'll see what happens. I'll be open and flexible to the process, and we'll see how things go. But I really do feel guided to do that. All right, so yeah, I mean, in the comments, just share with me what you guys have been going through and how you've been processing all of these energetic changes. It just feels like a huge upheaval for me, so I don't know. I'm a little bit concerned. I'm a little bit nervous, but I mean, the best thing that you can do during these periods is just surrender. You can't really control it, so. But, yeah, so I hope you all are doing okay. Just give me an update on what's happening with you. And I send you all my love and support. And I hope that this video was helpful to you, and I will hopefully see you soon. Take care.